Hello, welcome to Hotel Home, and as you can see, this is our holiday episode. We'd like to thank Rob Langtree for coming today.
Of course. Pleasure to be here.
Are you excited about talking about holidays with us?
Who wouldn't be excited about talking about holidays?
People who are no fun. That's you.
Well, we'll just leave them to not watching the show then, right?
Yeah, you can skip and go to the next episode. Okay, so how long have you been living in hotels?
For about the past 5 years, I've been living in hotels on and off, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kind of a while.
So, what is your favorite holiday?
It's tough.
Don't let us sway you.
I'm gonna go with Christmas.
And about how many Christmases have you spent in hotels?
Actually, maybe not necessarily just in hotels, but definitely I've at least spent 5 in hotels, but I've spent 8 out of America. So...
Oh, that's
yeah,
a lot away from home.
It's a lot. I mean, and I'm only 28, so, 8
Was it the last
Christmases.
8 consecutive?
Yeah, I actually don't even remember the last Christmas that I was at home with my parents or, with my family or anything.
Oh, so...
Well, I mean, obviously it was 8 years ago, but I don't remember what we did or, whatever, so.
I don't remember what happened then.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard spending all that time away from your family over the holidays, especially during Christmas. I feel like that's the big... get together with family and friends holiday.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, that's obviously what we'd want, especially, us being from America and with the way that Christmas is presented to us as Americans and how it's so family-oriented and whatnot. But you just kind of, make the family with the people that we're traveling with, whether it be for work or for leisure or whatever. So then, because of that, it makes that Christmas, or that memory of that Christmas, just as special as it would be if you had Christmas at home with the family. Yeah, now you're probably at home laughing at me because I said I don't remember my last Christmas with my family. But that's not to say that it's not because I had too much eggnog. Okay? So give me some credit. But yeah, you make the family with the people you travel with, and it makes it worth all the while.
Do you schedule mini Christmases when you do finally go home on breaks, or do you just kind of skip and do... Okay, these are the last 3 holidays that we missed.
A good question. Actually, it's different because sometimes I could be gone for 4 months at a time, so I'm not even home around a holiday season or anything like that.
It would be odd to do that in March.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I will ask my mom to make her Christmas dish, or I'll ask my grandmother to make Christmas cookies, or just, moms, grandmothers, you like doing that stuff anyways, right? So whenever your grandson or son asks, make him cookies.
And I know our mail especially is a little slow, but have you ever done the care package thing on holidays?
Receiving them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My stepmother, actually, she is really good at sending me fudge every Christmas that I've been away. Yeah, she sends it in a tin, it makes it perfectly fine, and I've gotten that every Christmas, I can say, so that's definitely enjoyable.
So one tradition we're keeping intact.
Yes, one tradition that's going to keep on going. Fudge.
So you are able to have some of your Christmas traditions. What other holidays have you celebrated on the road?
Mainly we celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and New Year's. Mm-hmm. The other holidays, such as Easter, or... Well, I guess I completely just lied about that, because we do celebrate Valentine's Day as well, if we're, working through Valentine's Day. But really, the other holidays, we kind of just get candy, go to dinner, something like that. It's not as big of a deal.
St. Patrick's, you drink a lot anywhere.
I mean, we probably drink a lot any day of the week, so it's just another Monday for us. So
it's a Monday where you wear green.
Yeah, green and a beer, and call it a day for St. Patrick's Day. But it's really just Christmas, Halloween through New Year's that we actually really try to make an effort to have a big celebration or a big gathering or whatnot, because those are the ones that people really miss being at home for, so those are the ones that we really put all of our emphasis on. Try to.
So you've mentioned that not only do we travel all over the U.S., that
Mm-hmm.
we go out to different countries,
Mm-hmm.
China, Japan, Taiwan, all over Europe,
Mm-hmm.
all over everywhere. So when you're in these other countries during the holiday season, do you take their traditions into account with ours?
Sometimes you do because everyone around you is in the spirit, or like we engage and work with locals that tell you, inform us of their traditions at Christmas or whatever holiday. Mm-hmm. And so, for instance, in Spain, at New Year's, it's a tradition to wear a brand new pair of red underwear mm-hmm. and eat grapes to welcome in the new year. Like that's,
at the same time?
Depends. I'm sure there's different takes on it, but I do know that I was down in the middle of Madrid. And I did have a new pair of red underwear on, bringing in the new year, and I did have some grapes in my mouth. But I don't really know much more than that. And then in China, I do know that for Chinese New Year, or for the New Year, they like to have all of the doors or cabinets or windows open at once to welcome in all the good luck. And then you're also supposed to wear polka dots.
It's winter in China during that time, right? So you're also letting all the cold in?
I mean, it's winter in America at that time, too.
Yeah, but we don't open all our doors. Back with that, it's too cold.
No, but if you wanted to engage in that tradition, just make sure you have a fire going.
There you go.
Yeah, or you're drinking.
Ah!
It is New Year's.
Even better.
Yeah, there you go.
Warm, spiked apple cider, mulled wine.
Yeah, or a beer, again.
Well, that's not as
Keep it simple.
Okay, so when you're decorating for these holidays, say mm-hmm. decorating for Christmas.
Like we did today.
Yes,
fantastic.
At home, it's a lot easier to throw everything up, leave it up for the whole month.
Mm-hmm.
But we're traveling to sometimes 2 or 3 hotels in a week, mm-hmm. so you can't do that. My tree, for example, is inflatable, if you can't tell, including the ornaments.
Which is great when we're staying at hotels with the pool, because you can also use it as a flotation device.
Holiday flotation. Excellent. But it's easy to pack, easy to travel, mm-hmm. easy to throw together at the next place.
Yeah.
Are there decoration tips that you have? Like, what should we bring from home?
Nothing. Because everywhere celebrates Christmas. Everywhere that I've at least traveled to celebrates Christmas. I know that doesn't necessarily mean that a country or a religion partakes in Christmas. But even here in Japan, where they're predominantly not Christian, mm-hmm. They still celebrate Christmas, and they have Christmas stores all over the place. So they love it. So you can pretty much find Christmas decorations anywhere you go. Depending on how I'm traveling that season or that year or that time that I'm working, mm-hmm. I've definitely been on a bus, living in a hotel and on a bus for a few nights.
Mm-hmm.
And I would buy, the $20 6-foot tree from Walmart that you have to, bend into place and then bend to break it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you buy, the $4 set of ornaments, but, 5 of them.
The big thing of balls.
Yeah, your Christmas tree just looks like a display because you're buying all the same color and you're buying the one tree, so it's going to look like a display right out of the store, but you have a Christmas tree in your room. And, you buy, the string of lights. And as long as I have a Christmas tree, that's my biggest thing. It doesn't feel like Christmas unless you have a Christmas tree. No. All the other stuff is just icing on the cake. But if you don't have a Christmas tree, to me, it doesn't feel like Christmas.
And after the holiday, do you trash it, donate it?
Usually
donate it. Or do you travel it home?
Usually, actually, the maids of the hotel will take it off of your hands for you. And they'll use it, hopefully, in their Christmases to come. But usually that's what happens. They'll take it.
It can be their holiday tip.
Yeah. It's always
Thank you so much, and here's a tree.
Exactly. It's always good to tip a maid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it just depends on the situation. I've actually traveled with Christmas ornaments in my suitcases from city to city.
Mm-hmm.
I've traveled it, collapsed it and put it on the bus from city to city. I'm adamant about Christmas. Christmas will be celebrated, so there will be decorations. Halloween, you can draw some pumpkins and make some scary masks and, make some outlines of bodies and hang them up.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, the same. You can just take your hand, as we've all done in kindergarten, and just trace it out and color each finger differently and call it a turkey. Christmas, you have to have a tree.
Yeah. So speaking of your crafting, is there anything that you make consistently each year? Do you make construction paper turkeys every year?
I would say typically, yeah. Or Valentine's.
Oh.
Every Valentine's Day that we're working, we make them more than we would buy them, because other countries actually don't capitalize on Valentine's Day like we do in America. They celebrate it, but they don't have the 75 different types of Valentines that you can buy. So we would make our Valentines and hand them out and be hokey and cute about it, you know. Even though most of the people that we work with are already shacked up, so
hey,
they probably get each other other Valentines, you know, like a box of chocolates or something.
That's a good suggestion. You can find a box of chocolates anywhere. So
yes, and usually they're a lot better when they're found in places outside of the United States. Chocolate tastes better.
I don't know. I like a good old Hershey bar.
Sorry, Hershey.
Okay. Are there decorations that you just skip, like the spray on snow? That's just messy.
No, I've
used
that
a skipper thing?
Actually, in Madrid, when we were there for Christmas, we were there for a month. So we were fortunate enough to where we were in the same hotel for a month, so we could actually decorate, like as you would decorate your home. And yeah, we bought the spray snow and we sprayed our window, and we didn't need it in Madrid because it snowed all the time and it was freezing. But we still did it anyways, just because we could. And I bought poinsettias. Like, I bought a new one every week because we just die in a hotel room because I didn't have it next to the sun. But I bought the window. But I bought a new one every week. And then, but things that you would probably skip generally are going to be lights because you're using your outlets for your electronics that you have to keep charged and whatnot. So you would maybe skip the lights, even though it's like an easy, really good one. But internationally, lights are, you know, the wattage and the voltage and everything is a lot harder to match than being in the States or in Japan where it's all the same.
It's probably harder to find places to hang it from.
Yeah, you can't. You will definitely skip nails, tacks, anything that will ruin the walls because nothing can ruin the walls. So you become a very good friend with command stickies because those just pull right off and there's no problem.
Do you ever use the sticky tack? Bringing it back to elementary school?
No, because that'll leave problems. But if you do have holes in your wall, just put some toothpaste in it and no one will ever know. As long as the wall's white. Yeah. But
which in hotels mostly pretty neutral.
Yeah, exactly. Anything, you probably do skip anything that's like hung on the wall, like garland, or you know how you see like the really pretty, heavy, fancy garland for Christmas, or icicle lights. We don't have icicle lights. Go figure, you know. Sorry. Anything breakable, you would skip. So really pretty ornamental ornaments and whatnot, you would skip all of those because they will break, like, and it's kind of a waste of money at that point.
Stick with the cheap stuff.
Yeah. Anything that a maid might consider trash, you will also skip because it'll get thrown away, and then you'll be a little frustrated.
Yeah. Understand.
Exactly.
Okay. Now onto the good part. How do you make holiday meals?
I don't.
You don't?
Thankfully. No, I do. I could. We just don't have kitchens. So we rely on the hotel. We've been very fortunate that the hotels if we're in a different country, we can provide them with traditional recipes per the holidays. So like for Thanksgiving, we can provide them with a menu and a recipe for the dishes we would like to have for a Thanksgiving dinner. Now, the funny thing about that is they don't necessarily always have to follow the recipe because it's their kitchen and it's their staff, and not everyone around the world has, cooked a turkey, or not everyone around the world has made pumpkin pie. So it gets a little bit more dicey. Like in Peru, we were in Peru this last Thanksgiving, and we did ask for pumpkin pie, but we ended up with like a pumpkin mash spiced thing. It was good, and like it was seasonal, but it wasn't pumpkin pie. But you just appreciate it, yeah. Or in Italy, we gave them a full menu and like with recipes of what we would like, and they provided us with an Italian dinner with mashed potatoes. That was the only thing we had that was reminiscent of an American Thanksgiving. But you also have to remember, nowhere else in the world celebrates Thanksgiving. It's just it's an American holiday. So, it's an American holiday. Canada does celebrate, but it's completely different. And then for Christmas, we usually just go to dinner. Like, we'll find a restaurant. We don't, you don't put like an emphasis on it being like a roast or whatever. You just put we put all of our energy into finding a nice restaurant to like get dressed up and go to a Christmas dinner.
So we focus more on being together somewhere.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have our ways of making things. Like, again, in Spain, when I was there for Christmas, I actually made eggnog from scratch. Because they have grocery stores everywhere else in the world, in case you were wondering. And I was able to buy the ingredients to make eggnog from scratch. And one of our technicians actually eggnog you have to beat pretty quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
my hand can only go so fast. So he hooked a whisk to a power drill, and I was able to get the eggnog to be beat enough to actually be nog instead of cream,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty good. And we drank it and watched Christmas movies, and it was fantastic. And to keep it cold, we just set it outside the window
Oh.
because there's a big enough ledge. Because we don't have enough space in the refrigerator to hold that much eggnog. But so like you can get around it. Anything that you can make that doesn't need to be cooked. You can definitely make that and bring that to the party. Jello shots are always a big crowd pleaser, especially at Halloween. Halloween's a lot easier though because you just buy candy. Like, sometimes people are like, "Oh, what are you doing for Halloween?" I'm eating candy. I don't. Why do I have to have a meal for Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm traipsing around in a costume that's probably about as big as a washcloth. Second of all, I just want to drink and eat candy. Kids
that
do
sounds
it.
like a great combination.
Do you think we change the older we get? No. I just want to drink and eat candy. Simple as that.
And speaking of Halloween,
Yeah.
you threw a rather interesting Halloween party this year. Could you tell our viewers at home a little about it?
So, what do children do on Halloween?
They trick or treat.
Yes, they do. They go door to door in your neighborhood or in the rich neighborhood or wherever hands out the best candy. And they put on their little princess and their little lion and their little cartoon character costumes. And they go and get free candy. I mean, that's like a great combination, first of all. Like, a holiday where all I have to do is put on a ridiculous outfit and you'll give me free candy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why adults don't do this more often. So, we were in the hotel in Peru, in Lima, Peru, and
We spent a lot of time in Peru.
Yeah, we were there for a month again. And they didn't have a ballroom or anything to accommodate having a Halloween party, where we could dress up. And Lima, Peru celebrates Halloween, but it's different. Like, adults don't, like, gather and, like, throw their own functions or whatnot. And maybe they do, but not as much as, like, Americans like to gather and throw their own functions and parties or barbecues or whatnot. And in Lima, you could go to, like, a club and pay, like, XYZ amount of dollars, and you could be this or VIP or double VIP or triple platinum and, like, have unlimited bottle service or table service or whatever in your costume in this sweaty club where I have no idea. You have to find transportation on how to get there and all of that. So for Halloween, we generally like to celebrate it in the hotel so we don't have to wear our costumes out of the hotel. Because, that being said, Americans go big or go home with everything, right? So our costumes are big and crazy and loud, and not everywhere else in the world do they do that.
And we probably don't necessarily want everyone else in the world to see us in them.
We also don't want everyone else in the world following us back to our hotels. So, I had the idea that we do a trick or drink party. And basically what we did is people in different hotel rooms got together with their friends or just other people so that they could join in. And we had each room had to come up with a different theme. And basically everyone got together at a set time in the first room, which was themed, I think it was themed Honey Boo Boo.
Oh, is that the first one?
I think that was the first. Sorry, America. I know. Capitalizing on Honey Boo Boo. But I think that's what the first room was. And we gathered there, and like that room, they took it upon themselves and they dressed up like characters from the show. And they had a drink and a shot representative of that theme. So like we all know Alana drinks go-go juice, right? That's what they called their drink. Their go-go juice drink. And then we would move from room to room, and people all had everyone had a different themed room. My room was, of course, the Starbucks themed room. And we offered green tea martinis and frappuccino shots.
I think I had a frappuccino shot. It was kind of delicious.
I mean, it has a dirty word, but it's basically what that shot was. Anyways, and it was cool because like you just go room to room and everyone's in their costumes and we're just drinking. And rooms had candy as well, or like chips or little snacks and whatnot. But we didn't have to go anywhere, which we love. We love not having to go anywhere if we don't have to.
Saving money on transportation.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone provided drinks for the amount of people that would be coming to their room and had enough to spare. So we all got happy pretty quickly. And we were all just together. Finally, we got too loud. So, another room complained about the room that we were in. And it kind of stunk. But then the hotel finally was like, okay, come down to the restaurant at like midnight and you can keep the celebration going. So it worked out and we were, down there celebrating. But Yeah, it was a trick or drink. We went room to room to get our drinks and our shots.
Yeah, we've been really lucky that a lot of the hotels that we've been in have been very accommodating. And hey,
Usually.
we know you're away. We have this space that you can use.
Yeah, usually they work with us, but that's also because the relationship
we tend to book
for who we work for. Yeah, it's exactly. It's been there for so long. It's so outstanding. So that works in our favor. But yeah, that was a good Halloween. Halloween's my favorite party to plan, like holiday party to plan. Christmas planning a dinner is always great fun, but when it comes to Christmas, it's about decorating my room and like being in the Christmas spirit and like having a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. That's what Christmas is really about.
And watching.
I know it's also about
Charlie
family
Brown
and tradition and all of that stuff, but pumpkin spice latte. Thanksgiving, of course, it's about trying to find a way to have the right types of food available to us for a Thanksgiving dinner, whether that be using the hotel and their staff or finding an American restaurant that can provide that or make that happen for us. So that's what the big thing with Thanksgiving is about. And then Halloween, it's really just about having a fun, kick-ass, all-out party. So I like to plan for that party the best.
So you were talking about Thanksgiving again. Is there anything really weird that you've had for a holiday meal? You said you had a bunch of pasta at Christmas and grapes for New Year's. I mean, we have wine at New Year's, but same thing.
Weird Thanksgiving food. I mean, pretty much anything that's not a turkey would be weird.
But have you been anywhere that made you have our traditional food is goat size. Enjoy! Squishy and delicious.
Oh, but then we also had stuffing in Peru, and it was their version of stuffing, but it tasted like stuffing dipped in sour pickle juice or covered in that. It wasn't bad, but it's you don't expect these
it was not
Peru was honestly the weirdest one because they did everything they could to accommodate us, and they did such a good job. Our hotel did such a great job in Lima. And everything looked like, when we saw the spread, it all looked like Thanksgiving food. And then we started eating it, and we're kind of like, oh, they definitely use their flavor and their spices, and maybe there's a different word for this or that or whatever, and it gets lost in translation. Italy was probably the most, I don't want to say that it was a letdown, but it was, like I said, the only thing we had that was even reminiscent of a Thanksgiving were mashed potatoes. And the rest was pasta and a salad, and there wasn't even a main, there was a main meat, but it wasn't a turkey. I think it was maybe a hen.
Oh.
Yeah, which, I mean, still a bird, still, right idea. But I've never had anything exceptionally bad for Thanksgiving. It's just that any of your traditional flavors or scents or smells or foods, they just don't happen because nowhere else, they're just okay, we don't even celebrate Thanksgiving. What is that holiday? To them, it's whatever.
And Christmas cookies just aren't quite the same anywhere else.
Well, sweets in general aren't the same as they are nowhere. And it doesn't, I mean, everywhere else you go, cake is eating air. In America, cake is like eating butter and oil, right, Pauladine? That's what it's like. That's what it's like. It's true. Seriously, sweets in America, top notch. Candy in other countries is really good. Sweets in America, top notch. The best. You can't get any better.
Your trick or drink idea for Halloween that you talked about is a very unique way to celebrate. It's not a way that would work in not a hotel or maybe dorm room environment. Do you have any other unique party ideas that you've used?
Since I've been on the road, okay, yeah. Actually, for Christmas we were in Perth, Australia, and they're on the other hemisphere of the globe. They're in the southern hemisphere, so it's on Christmas Day it was 110 degrees outside. So there's definitely no roasting marshmallows by the fire. There's no sledding. There's no. I mean, I'm from Arizona, so there's none of that, anyways. But
you like to imagine.
Yeah, I'm really good at imagining. But it was so hot outside that we actually had a barbecue in the park, and it was an all-day event, from 1 on until whenever, and we just bought, our company manager bought meats and drinks and sides, and we could also bring anything else that we would want to bring. And we just had a barbecue, like a potluck, like a 4th of July barbecue for Christmas. And it did not feel like Christmas at all. It really just felt like a fun gathering, because actually a lot of Australians were out and about on that day as well, because it's so, like, that's their summer.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in school then. Like, how weird is it to think that they don't go to school and have winter break for Christmas? Like, no, we do. You know what I mean? Like, that's their summer. So there are a ton of people out. And then some people went to the beach on Christmas Day and whatnot. So that's probably another... Planning a barbecue is another weird thing to do for that holiday, because you would never associate the two. Like, trick or drink, I guess, is creative, because you're, you know, mixing trick-or-treating with being a grown-up.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, planning a barbecue for Christmas, it's like you can't even... You're not going to barbecue... I can't even think. You're not going to barbecue up some candy cans. I just saw that, so that's what I thought of. But you're not. You're not going to have mulled wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to really be eating fruitcake.
10 degrees.
And you will not be drinking eggnog in 110-degree weather. It just does not work. It's not this. They have it, but you're just, no.
Sounds curdly.
Yeah, not too fun. But it was great. It was so great. So.
Do you have any other tips for people who are in hotels during the holidays and how to make it feel a little more like home?
Just make it your own. Anything you can do to make it your own. Like, if you always have stockings, and it's like, you know, it's, which most families do, and it's, but like you can get them anywhere. And a stocking doesn't have to be an actual stocking from the store. You know, you can just get a crazy sock, or you can make one, or you can use paper and just tape it up. And even though it's not what you would traditionally see in your home, or at your parents' house, or at your grandparents' house, or your best friend's house, or wherever, the fact that you even have something up will make you feel more... It'll make you feel more like you're at home, or more like you're actually celebrating, or more like the season is actually happening. It's always sad when you go into people's hotel rooms and they don't have anything, like, for just, like, even just the little tiny tree for Christmas. I talk about Christmas a lot. It's my favorite setting. Or a pumpkin that works for both Halloween and Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. One pumpkin does the trick. Even a little pumpkin does the trick. It's always a little sad when people don't have it, because you would think that you would just feel better having something to remind you of the season. So anything you can do, that's the best advice I could give you. And it doesn't matter where it's from. It doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you don't steal it, because the season's not about stealing. So you should just have it to make it your own. Because everyone else is in the spirit, and it really helps to, like, boost your holiday spirit. Because it's hard. It is hard to be away all the time and not have a typical holiday, and not see your parents' tree with, like, all the presents under it for whoever they're for, or not be home for that Thanksgiving home-cooked meal, or to not be around to see your little brother or your little cousins or nieces and nephews dressed up for Halloween. So just make it your own. Even if you buy a costume just to wear in your own hotel room, I say go for it. Mm-hmm. Who needs to trick or drink when we're old enough to buy our own bottle of vodka and wear our own costume and just hang out in the room?
There you go.
Right?
See, all it takes is a little bit of creativity and a little bit of want to make it happen, and there you go.
It'll happen.
Holidays anywhere.
Anywhere. They can happen.
Well, Rob, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And as always, I'm Raina Long, your hostess of the hostels. And thank you for checking in with us today on Hotel Home. And may you always travel home.